Have you ever felt that something about her changed after a certain moment, even though you cannot prove anything happened? Not an argument, not a confession, just a strange shift in her energy. She seems more guarded or oddly calm, sometimes warmer than usual, sometimes emotionally distant in a way that does not fit the situation. The rhythm between you two feels off, like you are dancing to the same song, but on different beats. You are not angry, you are not dramatic, you are just quietly alert, asking yourself, why does this feel different now? Most men are taught that if a woman cheats, she either admits it or hides it perfectly. That unless you catch her in the act, nothing can be known. But real life is rarely that clean. People carry emotional weight after certain choices, and that weight leaks out through tone, behavior, and small things they do without realizing it. This video is not here to judge or to scare you. It is here to help you notice what changes when someone is trying to move forward from something they have not talked about. Not to tell you what to believe, only to help you see more clearly what you are already sensing. There is a kind of loss that is very hard to name. It is not the day she says, "I am sorry, I cheated." It is the day you look at the person sitting in front of you and realize this is not the same person anymore. There is no confession, there is no clear proof, just a very thin, very quiet feeling that you are living next to a different version of her. And the thing that hurts men the most is not whether there is or is not another man. It is the feeling that you were emotionally replaced before you even had time to see it coming. A lot of men in this situation tell themselves, maybe I am overthinking. Maybe I am being paranoid. I do not want to become controlling. So they choose the easier path. They stay silent, they ignore it, they rationalize everything. But here's a very important truth. Suspicion is not always weakness. Sometimes it is the self-defense reflex of a man who still respects himself. It is like when you walk into a room and the air feels different. You do not know what happened, but your body knows something is not right anymore. Relationships work the same way. Betrayal rarely starts with an action. It starts with an inner conflict. And that conflict leaks out through behaviors people cannot fully control. She may not say anything, but the psychology of crossing a line leaves marks, not in words, in reflexes. The problem is, men often ignore those reflexes. They are afraid of overreacting, afraid of becoming petty, afraid that if they look straight at the truth, they will have to face a very hard choice. So they choose to stay in the fog. But her logic does not stand with fog. Her logic does not teach you to hunt for guilt. It teaches you to read the psychological reflexes people cannot control, especially after they cross a moral line inside themselves. No interrogating, no snooping, no controlling. You are not a detective. You are a man with self-respect, learning how to observe with clarity. And the principle here is very simple. First, recognize what you are seeing. Second, hold your boundaries. Third, make clear-headed choices, not to accuse her, but so you do not betray yourself. In the next part, we will go into 7 things women often do after they have cheated, not because they want to get caught, but because the psychology after betrayal cannot stay hidden forever. If you have ever felt something is different, but I cannot name it yet, comment, "I've felt this," or just say, "Yes." Now let us start reading the first patterns. In this part, we are talking about the hard-to-control reflexes that show up after a line has already been crossed. Not to convict her, but to help you recognize, hold your boundaries, and respond with clarity. Each pattern below includes a specific behavior, the psychology behind it, common mistakes men make, and how to move in the her logic spirit. Observe, reduce investment, lightly test, and stay calm. 1. She changes how she talks about the relationship. Behavior. She suddenly talks a lot about freedom, personal space, and everyone has their own life. Things that never mattered before now show up again and again. Psychology. After crossing a line, people need to rationalize in order to reduce guilt. Language is the first place they adjust. Men's mistake. You think she has become more mature, more deep. You listen to her words and forget to compare them with her actual level of investment. Her logic. Compare words with behavior. If freedom comes with less presence, less care, and less effort, that is not a philosophy. That is a shift. If you have heard this kind of talk before, comment yes. 2. She gets defensive when no one is attacking. Behavior. You ask gently, "Are you tired today?" And she snaps back, "Why are you asking so much?" Or, "Are you suspecting me?" Psychology. Defensiveness shows up when there is something to hide. Not because the question is dangerous, but because the inside is already tense. Mistake. You apologize for how you feel. You pull your question back. You teach her that your emotions are a burden. Her logic. You stay quiet and observe the next reflex. No arguing, no explaining yourself. See whether she adjusts her tone later or keeps defending. 3. She is distant but also controlling. Behavior. Less closeness, less sharing, but she still wants to know where you go, what you do, and who you are with. She asks for information but does not offer connection. Psychology. There is a contradiction. She wants to keep you as a safe option, but does not want to invest in you like the chosen one. Mistake, you think that is care. You answer everything while you yourself are starving for connection. Her logic. Look at the give and take ratio. Real care always comes with presence. If there is only control without closeness, the rhythm is off, like the video if you are starting to recognize this pattern. 4. She changes how she touches you. Behavior. Fewer hugs, fewer kisses. She avoids gestures that used to feel natural, or the touch is there, but it feels empty. Psychology. There is a conflict between desire and guilt. When emotions have moved somewhere else, the body no longer feels aligned with you. Mistake. You think you are no longer attractive. You start looking for flaws in yourself. Her logic. Compare before and after. Do not blame yourself before you see the whole picture. Only consistent change is real data. 5. She is no longer curious about your emotions. Behavior. She does not ask what you think or how you feel. You are sad, she does not reach out. You go quiet. She does not ask why. Psychology. When emotional investment shifts, curiosity disappears, not because she hates you, but because her energy has gone somewhere else. Mistake. You share more to get attention. You start performing your emotions. Her logic. Reduce sharing and see if she comes back on her own. Her initiative is the real signal. Follow her logic to learn how to read what is not being said. 6. She changes her schedule and habits. Behavior. Suddenly there are more gaps with no clear reason. Her timing changes. Plans become vague. Psychology. When there is a new connection, time adjusts itself. People do not organize, they prioritize. Mistake. You believe each explanation one by one. You do not look at the pattern over time. Her logic. Watch for consistency. One time means nothing. Many times become data. 7. She is no longer afraid of losing you. Behavior. You go quiet, she does not look for you. You pull back, she does not move closer. Psychology. When someone already has another option in their mind, they are not afraid of losing the current one. Mistake. You try harder. Her logic. Create space and see if she steps toward you. These patterns are not a verdict. They are warning lights. In the next part, we will go into the most dangerous place of all. Not her behavior, but the way you rationalize everything so you can stay too long. After everything you've just gone through, you're probably not feeling clear. You're feeling split. Part of you senses that something isn't right. Another part of you keeps saying, maybe I'm overthinking. You're not angry, you're not sure, you're just stuck in that uncomfortable space where you start doubting your own instincts. And honestly, each detail by itself probably didn't feel big enough to mean anything. But the problem is almost never one isolated behavior. It's the rhythm of the relationship changing underneath you. It's the overall direction things start drifting in. Like the temperature in a room rising so slowly you don't notice until you're already uncomfortable. Like a steering wheel turned just a few degrees, and miles later you're nowhere near the road you thought you were on. Or like a low background noise that plays so long, silence starts to feel unfamiliar. What really matters isn't what she does in one moment. It's what you start doing inside yourself over time. When you find yourself constantly explaining things away. When your inner voice keeps saying, it's probably nothing, or I'm just being too sensitive. That self-talk isn't weakness, it's information, not to accuse, not to blame, but to notice how your sense of emotional stability is slowly being negotiated away. And from here, the picture shifts. The patterns ahead don't feel subtle anymore. They start touching the core of how a man loses his footing in a relationship without even realizing it's happening. This is where many people look back later and think, I saw it, I just didn't want to face it. If you've ever been in that feeling, stay with me. From here on, things are no longer on the surface. It is no longer about what she is doing. It is about what you are doing with yourself. The most dangerous thing after betrayal is not her behavior. It is the way a man starts to rationalize everything so he does not have to face the truth. It is like driving with a broken compass. You are still moving, but you no longer know where you are going. Deep sign 1. You become the man who always understands her. Your behavior. She changes. You say, I understand. She pulls away. You say, I get it. She is careless. You say, she must be tired. The danger. One-sided empathy turns into silent self-sacrifice. You use kindness to fill the gap of missing connection. Your rationalization. Love means understanding. I am a man. I can Tamil a little. Metaphor. You are patching a crack with empathy tape. From the outside it looks fine. Inside, water is still leaking. Her logic here. You stop understanding for both of you. You calmly express how you feel, no blaming, no begging, and then you observe. Does she step toward you? Deep sign 2. You are afraid of silence because silence reveals the truth, your behavior. You are afraid not to text, afraid not to ask, afraid that if you stop, there will be nothing left to hold on to. The danger. Silence in a healthy relationship is rest. Silence in a broken one is a warning light. Your rationalization. I am just being caring. Taking initiative is good. Metaphor. It is like covering the warning light on your dashboard so you do not have to look at it. Her logic. You allow silence to happen not to punish, but to see the truth. If she steps forward, you know. If she does not, you also know. Deep sign 3. You start doubting your own intuition, your behavior. You feel something is off, then you cancel yourself out. Maybe I am overthinking. There is no proof. The danger. Intuition is not a verdict. It is an early warning system. When you shut it down again and again, you teach yourself, do not trust me. Your rationalization. I do not want to make a big deal. I do not want to be wrong. Metaphor. It is like seeing a crack in the wall and hanging a painting over it. Her logic. You acknowledge the feeling without jumping to conclusions, but you also do not ignore it. You watch behavior, not words. Deep sign 4. You stay because you are afraid of losing, not because you want to stay. Your behavior. When you think about leaving, you feel empty, not because you love too much, but because you are afraid there will be nothing left to hold on to. The danger. The fear of loss becomes stronger than the joy of being in the relationship. Your rationalization, at least I have someone, leaving is exhausting. Metaphor, you stay in a cracked house, you do not fix it, you do not leave just because it is raining outside. Her logic, you ask yourself, am I here because I love or because I am afraid? If you see yourself in these signs, you are not weak. You are just standing at a crossroads that many men have stood at before. If you are in this stage, you are not alone. If this content touches you, you can subscribe to the channel, not for the algorithm, but because you want to continue conversations that are clear-headed, not bitter, and not self-deceiving. In the final part, we will talk about the strongest sign and how you flip your position, from the man waiting to be chosen to the man who chooses himself. Final sign. She is no longer afraid of losing you. Very specific behavior. You pull back and she does not pull you in. You go silent and she does not look for you. You reduce your investment and she does not ask why. No arguing, no explosions, just no more reflex to hold on to you. And this is where your awareness needs to flip. The dangerous part is not what she has done behind your back. The dangerous part is that you have gotten used to not being chosen anymore. A lot of men at this stage still tell themselves, try a little harder. She will realize my value. Leaving now would be a waste. But stop and ask one clear question. If today you stop trying, will she step toward you? If the answer is, I am not sure, then the truth is already very close. Before, you thought, what else do I need to do to keep this relationship? Now, her logic invites you to ask a different question. Is this relationship still worthy of my self-respect? Self-respect is not arrogance. It is the minimum standard for a relationship to stay healthy. You do not have to beg to be loved. You do not have to trade your boundaries just to stay. You do not have to keep trying in a place where the other person is no longer afraid of losing you. Many people confuse persistence with staying when they are no longer chosen. Persistence is when both people are still stepping toward each other. Staying is when only one person keeps walking and the other stands still. Her logic does not teach you to hunt for proof. Her logic teaches you to read the patterns after betrayal, hold your self-respect, and choose the right position for yourself. No bitterness, no revenge, no turning anyone into a villain. Sometimes there is no bad guy, just two people who are no longer walking in the same direction. And the question is no longer, is she hiding something from me? The question becomes, am I hiding myself from the truth? If today you take one step back, if you stop trying so hard, if you stop explaining for both of you, will she step toward you, or have you been the only one stepping forward all this time? If that question makes you go quiet, then you probably already have your answer. If this content helps you wake up, feel lighter, and see more clearly, leave a comment. You do not have to tell your story. Just one word: awake. And if you want to continue conversations like this, not bitter, not accusing, just learning how to be in a relationship without losing yourself, subscribe to the Her Logic channel. Her Logic is not just a channel name. It is a way of thinking that helps you love without betraying yourself. And before this video really ends, let's bring the focus back to where it has always belonged. Not on whether she is right or wrong, not on whether her actions can be fully explained, but on something quieter. And far more important, how much respect you are still giving yourself inside this relationship. Because in the end, the real issue is not what she did. It is what you are willing to accept while telling yourself it is fine. A lot of men carry a powerful belief. If I just try a little harder, everything will work out. So they try to be more patient, more understanding, less demanding. But sometimes effort is no longer love. Sometimes it is just fear wearing the mask of loyalty. And in those moments, leaving is not a failure. It is not weakness. It is simply the moment you stop arguing with reality and start telling yourself the truth. This is where her logic comes in, not as a tool to control, not as a weapon to accuse, and never as a philosophy against women. Her logic is a way of observing without panic, a way of staying calm when emotions want to rush ahead of clarity. And above all, it is a compass of self-respect, something that helps you stay grounded, even when the relationship starts to feel unrecognizable. So before you think about what she can or cannot control, ask yourself this: are you staying because there is still real connection? Or because you are afraid of what your life looks like if you stop pretending everything is okay? If you have ever been in that place, you do not need to justify yourself here. You are not being judged. But if you want to share what that moment felt like for you, you are welcome to, quietly, honestly. And if you want to keep your mind clear, your reactions grounded, and your dignity intact, her logic will still be here. Not to push you, not to pull you, just to walk with you, while you stay awake, steady, and self-respecting.